Hi, good morning. August 15th, 2022, and it is Granny Square Day. Now, if you don't know what that is, or if you're an Instagram user, you probably do know what it is. It's basically an Instagram sort of project event, for want of a better word. Basically, people do a Granny Square, they'll put hashtag Granny Square 2022, and it all goes on there into a massive virtual blanket, basically. It's absolutely gorgeous to get inspiration and ideas, so pop on there definitely. Even if you're just having a look and you've not made your Granny Square today, that doesn't matter. Get over there and have a look what they're up to. The other side of it is Simply Crochet magazine here in the UK. Now, I do some submissions for them. Now, I've picked up this month's edition. There it is, so that's what you want to watch out for. Some gorgeous designs in there anyway. But to go with the Granny Square side of it, they have a supplement. Here it is. There is 52 different Granny Square designs in there. One of them, which is mine. I did one last year as well, because the event's been going on 4 years. So I think I've done last 3 years, I think it is. So I've done this year's as well. So what we're going to do, we're not going to do my Granny Square out of here, but I can grab this one, last year's, the blue one. That is the one we're going to be doing today. I don't know whether you can see it. Obviously, there'll be a picture in the thumbnail, so you'll be able to see what the design is like. It's relatively easy. It does say its skill level is a bit tricky there, but I think when somebody's talking through it with you, I don't think you'll have any problems at all. So we're going to go top down. If you want to know more about the Granny Square Day, I'll pop some links in below, because there's the charity side of it as well. So there's lots of information to look at. So I'll pop your links so you can have a look at it and have a read yourselves. So we're going top down now, and we're going to make our Granny Square. So I'll see you in a second. Hi, back with the top down images here. As you can see, I've got my Simply Crochet magazine here. Some gorgeous things in there this month. There's a couple of things I definitely want to try. I've been wanting to make one of these for a while, so that is brilliant that that's in. But also, obviously, it's the Granny Square theme that we're looking at. Now, I'm not going to open it up as such, because I'm sure you want to get your own magazine, but here is an idea of some of the Granny Squares that are in there. They're great for inspiration, but we're going to do one of mine, or a variation on one of mine from last year, which is this one, but we're going to do a slight variation and sort of slightly different with the colours as well. So as you've seen it in the thumbnail, so you'll know what we're actually going to be doing. So I would recommend you get this month. Definitely look at the sites as well, as it'll give you the information about the charity. It'll give you a little bit of information about Simply Crochet side of it, and again, hashtag Granny Square Day 2022. I think earlier when I said it, I didn't say Granny Square Day 2022. That's what you need to look for, but I'll pop the links in anyway, and have a look at this virtual blanket. So I'm going to move them out of the way, and we're going to get on with our little square. So I've decided just to do it in 2 colours this time, so we can get a little bit more detail on that. I'm just wondering whether I'm too close for you for the camera, whether I need to lift it a little bit. I think it will be okay. We're gonna, I think, let's have a think. We would go light blue, dark blue, light blue, dark blue. I think we're going to start with the darker of the 2. I mean, again, it's one of those that you can make it to your colour scheme, which is great. And that's, again, another thing with Granny Squares are fabulous. So I'm going to actually pop the yarn down there, because it does affect the light on my camera if it's in front. So we're going to start with a slip knot there. We'll also need the hook. It would be a good idea to tell you I have a 3.5, which the pattern was in, but I've decided I want to do it on a 4mm, make it a little bit bigger, so it's a larger square that you're going to come out with. Because I definitely think it was, oh, actually no, looking at the pattern, it was actually a 4mm that I did. I think it's because I'm so used to working with the 3.5 that I sort of default to that one as my hook. Don't forget I'm working in UK terms as well, so you may need a conversion chart, but we're going to get on with this. It's just basic double knit yarn. This is just a Stylecraft yarn that I have, so it's easy enough to get hold of, and as long as you're consistent with your squares and your yarn, your squares are all going to match each other anyway. So we're going to start with 6 chains. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. We need to join this to turn it into a little circle, so we slip into that first chain grab our yarn through, and we do a slip stitch join. So we've got our circle here now, you can see. So just tighten up that little bit. We're going to be doing popcorns. Now I love popcorns. If it's not a stitch you're used to, don't worry about it. It is really easy. It is not a scary stitch at all, and it is great for giving texture. Now we need to start with 3 chain. Now that 3 chain does count as our first treble. We're now going to do 4 more trebles. So yarn round, in, pull through 2, pull through 2. Yep, so that's 2. We need 5 in total, including that 3 chain. So we have 4, and we have 5. Now we're going to take the hook out of the 5th one. We're going to go back to this 3 chain, and you're going to slip in the top of the 3 chain. You're going to grab the loop, tighten it up so it's not going to fall off when we move it, and we're going to pull it through. Oh, we're not going to pull it through even. You will pull it through. There you go. And then we're going to do 2 chain. 1 and 2. So you're going to repeat that again. Now that first one was what they call a beginner popcorn. The rest are just popcorn stitches, but they are 5 treble popcorn stitches. So obviously you need 5 trebles. So yarn round, into the hole, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Remember, take the hook out, leave that a little bit long just so you don't lose it when you do this, into the top of that first treble, grab the loop, tighten it through, and pull it through. 2 chain, 1 and 2. Now we need 8 of these in total, so obviously we've got another 4 to do. Can't count, can I? We've got another 6 to do, even 4 to do. What am I on about? It's definitely too hot. I think it's affecting my brain. 2, 3, 4. Getting tangled here now. 4 and 5. Take the hook out, pop it in the top of the first of the 5, grab the loop, tighten it up, and pull it through 2 chain. So we've got 3 now, so keep going. 5 trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Take it out, top of the first treble, grab the loop, pull it through 2 chain. Now we're halfway there now. Now as you can you see what I'm doing here as well? As I'm going, the loose end here, I'm sort of like crocheting in. You don't have to do that. You can move it out of the way. I'm just sort of crocheting it and as I go, and then it's sort of less things to sew in at the end. So 5 trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Take it out, top of the first treble, grab the loop and pull it through 2 chain. So what we got now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it might think you're not going to get them in. You just need to sort of keep shuffling it round. So 5 trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Yarn off the hook into the first, grab the loop, tighten it up, pull it through 2 chain. Right, what we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 2 more. You will fit them in. I know it feels a bit weird, but you will do it. This makes a really cute flower as well if you're doing individual flowers. So here we go, 5 treble then. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Take it out, top of the first one, grab the loop, pull it through 2 chain. We have 1 more to go. So there is enough space. Like I say, it might not feel like it, but there is. So here we go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Take it out, top of the first treble, rub the loop and pull it through 2 chain. So you are round now, so we do need to do a slip stitch. And the slip stitch, it's a bit of a weird one because you know you sort of gathered these together, so there's like a stitch here where you pulled it together. That is where you're wanting to do a slip stitch join. Okay, so we're going to change colour now. So that is the first round done. There's not many rounds to it, to be honest. It just feels sort of like first one I think is a little bit harder because of fitting the popcorns in. So I'm going to fasten it off completely. So up to you. If you're nice and organised, you can sew your ends in now and get rid of them. I'm not organised. I always end up leaving all my ends, and then I'm thinking, why on earth did I do that? So we're going to bring in the paler blue now. Let's just undo it a little. Nearly knocked the camera there. And we're going to go into any of the 2 chains. So you can see all these 2 chains here. Yeah, you're going to go into any of them. It doesn't matter. So we'll just go in that one. We're going to pull the yarn through it. We're going to do a chain. And then I'm going to actually double crochet back into it because it just anchors it a little bit more. I know a lot don't do that, but it just sort of helps a little bit. Right, now what we're going to be doing is 5 chain. And then you're going to do a double crochet into the next one, 5 chain, double crochet, 5 chain, all the way around. So it's just making a chain loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Yeah, just jump into the next 2 chain and do a double crochet. See what I mean? Then 5 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 into the 2 chain space. And double crochet. I'm just going to keep doing that all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 into 2 chain space, and off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 2 chain space, double crochet, 5 chain, 2, 3, 4 and 5 into the 2 chain space, double crochet, 5 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We're almost round here, so it's a really quick round, this one, isn't it? 5 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, double crochet. Now we do need to do another set because we've got to get back to this, so another 5 chain only, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and we can just slip stitch into the base. Well, we will if we can get into it. I'm going to slip stitch into that. So can you see what it's formed? It's just like a little set of chains. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You should have 8 little sets of chains there. So we're going to keep to the same yarn and we're going to slip stitch into the first chain space. Okay, so you are now in there. And then you're going to be doing, I'm double checking what I've written there. I don't know, if I looked on the right line, wouldn't it? Into that space you are going to be doing, we're going to be creating picots here. So we're going to slip stitch in, which we've done. We're going to do 1 chain, which we've done, and then we're going to have 3 double crochets, picot, which I'll tell you in a minute, and 3 double crochets. So in we go. We could have just gone in straight in with a double crochet there, couldn't we? But I'm going to do that. I'm going to change this pattern slightly, because sometimes you learn things as you go and then you change them. So we did our slip stitch join, yes, double crochet into the next space. So we have 1, 2 and 3 double crochets. Yeah, so they've got 3 double crochets there. We're going to have a 4 chain picot, which all that means is I'm going to do 4 chain, 1, 2, 3 and 4. And then I slip stitch. Now most people slip stitch into the first of the chain. I actually slip stitch a little bit lower there, can you see? But whichever way works for you, that is what you should do. We're going to do a slip stitch. Oh, we're not going to do a slip stitch because it's fallen out. Go on in, there we go. And that is my slip stitch. I'm going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. I'm going to stop there a second just to sort of describe what I've done properly. So we had 3 double crochets, then I did 4 chain, looped it back and slip stitched, and then 3 double crochets. And that is what you're going to do in every single one of those chain spaces. So we're ready. 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3, 4 chain, 1, 2, 3 and 4. And as I say, you're supposed to slip into there, but I slip into that last double crochet. It's just a method I've decided I prefer, that's all. Slip stitch, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. So you can see what it's forming. You get these little loops all the way around, so it works out quite nicely. It could be left like this actually when you've done it, a mixed little motif. So we have 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, slip stitch back down. This is your picot. 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to just continue that all the way around. So it's 3 double crochets, 4 chain, 2, 3, 4, down into the picot slip stitch to make our little sort of lump, for want of a better word. It's not a very technical description, is it? Go on in, behave, and 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. So 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3, 4 chain, 1, 2, 3 and 4, slip stitch down and 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. Let's have a little look at what we've got there. Now you can start to still see how we're getting the shape coming, aren't you? Quite often using snowflake sort of effects and things like that. So picots are quite a nice thing to use. Right, we've got to carry on. We've got 3 more sets to do. Not take that long. So we've got 3 double crochets, 4 chain, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and slip stitch, and 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3. Just 2 more sets to go. Let's get a bit more of that yarn out. I don't know about you, if you crochet when it's hot, your hands get warm, and some yarns, especially these acrylic yarns, just do not like it, and they sort of like pull a little bit on your fingers. So we've got 1, 2, 3. That's why I'm having a little bit of a fight with it. 1, 2, 3, 4. In we go. And 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3. We have our last one, so 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, slip stitch down, and our last 3, 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch into that first stitch. Now we're going to change yarn colour as well now, so I can fasten that bit off. Again, if you're organised, fasten your ends off, but I will sort mine out later. And slip stitch. So that makes quite a cute little sort of design as it stands, so you could use that for various other decorations as well, or even like a little snowflakey type decoration. So I need to now pick up my darker blue again, and we're going to work on a sort of similar, you know, when we did these chains, we're going to work on that sort of system again. I'm double checking. Where am I? Right, we're going to pick up any of the picots. Now remember, they were a 4 chain, so you should, if you sort of separate them up a little bit, if you can't see it, can you see that there's a little hole? And that is where we're going to be picking up our yarn. So pick it up, do a chain and double crochet back into it. Just anchors it nicely. That is why I've done it that way. There we go. So just make sure that yarn is nice and tight there as well. And I'm just reading what I've got. What have I got? Yes, we have 5s and 9s. So I have 5 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into the picot, double crochet. Now the next one is going to be the equivalent to a corner. So I want 9 chain this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It feels a lot, but it has to be turned into a corner. Double crochet into our next picot. Only 5 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Double crochet into our picot. Now we're going to have another 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, and picot, double crochet. We have a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Picot, double crochet. So can you see we're alternating? So it's 5 is like the sides, and then the 9s are going to be the corners. You see how it sort of stretches out a little bit. So our next one is a 9 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Slip stitch into that picot, not slip stitch, you're double crocheting into the picot even. There we go. So that was a 9. So we're on to 5 now. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 chain and DC into that picot. We've got one last one to do, which is a corner again. So you do need to make sure you're getting 4 of each. So 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Now we can just slip stitch into our first picot and have a little look at what we've got. It still looks quite circular, I know, but as you sort of work into the corners, can you see? That is what you're going to be looking at. So you need to make sure you've got 4 sets of 9, and on the sides there are only 5 chains. Now I'm having another little look. We're going to keep to our same colour now, and we're going to be working in each of those chain spaces just the same as you did previously. But I'm just checking what I did. Yes, we need 5 double crochets in the 5 chain spaces, and then in the corners, to make it more of a corner, you're going to have 4 double crochets, 3 chain, 4 double crochets. If you didn't get that, don't worry about it, we're going to do it now. So as I say, in the 5 chain spaces we just want 5 double crochets. So 1, 2, can be a bit hard to hold when it's like this, 3, 4 and 5. So that's what I'm going to call my sides. This is a corner, and it's going to have 4 double crochets, 3 chain, 4 double crochets. So we have 1, 2, 3 and 4, 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3, 4 double crochets. So it makes another little loop. It's not a picot, it's just a little loop. 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5 double crochets in the 5 chain space. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We have a corner next, so it's 4 double crochets, 3 chain, 4 double crochets. So we have 1, 2, 3 and 4, 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3, 4 double crochets. 1, maybe not. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So you can see how you're getting, let's say, those corners forming now because of these, a little bit like teddy bear ears at this point. So on our side then, it's just 5 double crochets. We have a corner, so you know what to do. 4 double crochets, 2, 3 and 4, 3 chain, 4 double crochets. That's another corner done. So we've got a side, so it's just 5 double crochets, 2, 3, nearly didn't do it, 4 and 5, corner next. This is our final corner. Look at that, that went quicker than I thought actually. 1, 2, 3 and 4, 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3, 4 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4 and slip stitch join. So I'll have another look what that round looks like. Just pull that out a little bit so I don't lose where my hook's going. And now you can see we have sort of more definite corners, so just give it a little stretch out. You can see, but we need to sort of harden up those sides now, and this is the easy bit. It is just 1 double crochet in every single stitch, but when you get to these, obviously we need 3 double crochets into there. That's the equivalent to the 3 chain there, so it just sort of strengthens the actual square up a little bit by doing another round. So I'm going to do 1 chain and then 1 double crochet into each stitch. 1, 2. In fact, we don't really need to count, do we, at this point? We can just do our 1 double crochets all the way around until we get to those corners, of course. So we're coming up to a corner next. Let's do 3 in there. 1, 2 and 3, and carry on with our double crochets. Now, as I mentioned, you can do this in any colourways, obviously. It's just that originally I did do it in blue, so I just decided to do it in blue today as well. If you wanted to do another round after this, you can make it a little bit bigger. Entirely up to you whether you want to do that. I think this is a pretty sort of standard size that you do, but as long as you keep consistent with your yarn and hook, they'll all match up, and that's all that matters. My stomach's just rumbled. We're onto one of those little corners, so it is 3 into that chain space. 1, 2 and 3. Now be careful when you go here. Can you see there is actually, I meant to point it out on the last one, obviously you've got your chains here, but it's really easy to miss the first one because this sort of like overlaps it. It's in there, so don't forget that first one, otherwise it'll curl your work up. You must get in there. Okay, so we're in. We're about halfway now. I think we're just over halfway, to be honest. It's not a square that takes a long time. I think you maybe your first one you need to sort of think about it, but after you've done it a couple of times you'll probably work quite fast. And if anything, if you are planning on making a lot, I think I'd just make lots of the centers first. And get that out of the way. So say if you, I don't know, you want 30, get 30 of those made and then continue with the rest. So we're into that corner now. So 1, 2 and 3. Again, look how close it is, you can barely see it. Got 1, 2, 3. I don't know why I'm counting again, it's just because I'm automatic. I think I just count all the time. So don't worry about counting, just tell yourself it's 1 double crochet into each stitch, unless it's the corner when we need 3. And we're on our very last corner now. So 3 double crochets in it, 1, 2 and 3. Last little bit, so last set of stitches, and we're almost at the end. And we need to do a nice slip stitch join into our first stitch. And we've done. That is it. That is the square 100% completed. So fasten that off. Again, I'm going to give it a little stretch. These, because you see, because they're quite holy, they could do with blocking. They really could. So if you do block them, or you've got a blocking sort of square to use, I would recommend it because it just sort of holds it in place. and that is what it looks like. You can't really tell because they're in the way, aren't they? Let's see, that's a little bit better. It is a really pretty, almost sort of, you could do it actually if you were wanting sort of a wintry looking one. You could almost make it like a snowflake and then sort of whites in there, or maybe some glitter whites or something like that. But that is our square completed. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're going to make some. Definitely pop on that Granny Square day. It's just great to look at the pictures if you're not doing anything else. And I'm going to get these ends sewn in because I've got to take a photo of this for the next bit. And I'll see you all very soon. I've got to get back to my amigurumi. I hope this temperature is going to drop a little bit because it does make it, I don't know how you go with that, but I know if my hands are warm, as I said, the yarn sort of pulls a little bit, so it's not so great to crochet when it's too warm, I find. So thank you once again for watching. See you all very soon, and bye bye for now.